let's hope that I don't get interrupted this time around. This is my aquariums. I thought I'd shoot a video, showing off my aquariums. I haven't trimmed them in a while. But yeah, I've found quite a surprise. One day I was actually looking at my carpet for my aquarium, and I actually had found something cool. I actually have this little bit of moss growing, I don't know, I think it might be Riccia moss, I think. But yeah, it's growing on my carpet here that's recovering from the move. My plants are doing really good, actually. A lot of them are floating to the top because they haven't really got themselves well established. Some have, I've actually got my Amazon sword that's doing good. My Riccia, not Riccia, but my actual plant there, my Ludwigia, the red Ludwigia, I think it's Ludwigia repens, and my Java moss, or not Java moss, but Java fern is doing good, They're starting to really do great. And my fish are doing awesome. Some of the babies are getting their colors and just looking amazing. You can actually see some of the awesome colors. I usually sell these in the spring, occasionally in Ottawa, because I actually advertise on Kijiji. So yeah, my spring summer stock is looking amazing. I'm very reputable. Like, people have bought fish off of me of guppies, and I've never been upset. I've actually got one repeat customer that, every once in a while comes along and buys a bunch off me. He bought twice and he loved them. His grandchildren just were completely amazed by the colors that I had. It's great. I actually very much love my colors that I have for my guppies, because, they're great. I like to have a good amount of colors in there and have them all, get some nice coloring to them. I always have, great coloring. I used to have, a bunch of, these little fellas, but unfortunately most of them, my little Corridora peppered, have not really survived, except for the 3 there and 2 little ones I have that are a special type to me, which are panda cories. I like to have different types of Corridora, and I like to sometimes mix their colors and make some cool new types that look really awesome. A good portion of my cories have really insanely amazing colors. They like to hide in the plants too, so you'll see a lot in the plants around there, and they're usually doing insanely well. There's no real shortage of beautiful colors like this one. You get some that are like that grow, and that's my Riccia flutens that's growing in a carpet that I learned online. YouTube gave me a little bit of insight. You can see my males are very, very intensely loving. They're always frisky, and you can see I have really great colors. This is just a batch from last year and part of this year that are just bred like crazy. They always breed like crazy, So I always have great stock. So yeah, I thought I'd show you guys some of my cool looking guppies that are bred over summer, and they're gonna breed over the winter, and I'm gonna have a lot of babies. They're gonna pretty much be very much on the go. So this winter I'm probably gonna be stocking up a bunch of baby guppies, maybe, or seeing a bunch, and this tank's gonna be very well filled, because I have a bunch of babies in another tank as well. I'm going to show you it. Just give me a second. And I'll show you some of my baby tank, and that's some of my cool looking moss that I kind of found. A lot of my plants are doing this, you know. They're like growing like crazy, you know. They're always growing very much like crazy. Like you're seeing just a couple little tiny pieces of like Java fern that are just like completely doing like a monster. You know, they're just completely exploding with new ones. You know, like it's just like holy crap kind of thing. You know, it's insane to see some of the cool colors that they show. And that one, when I got it, was not that big. You know, it was a little tiny plant. You know, not huge, and it grew into this with just some leaf zone. Like I stopped using CO2 completely because it was like melting down some of my other plants I love, you know, like these Vallisneria corkscrew valve, which I think are cool, you know. They shoot off little plantlets. And this one, when I got it, was only like 2 or 3. And now look at it, man. It's just like towering and growing like crazy. And you can see little ones like that get chased by cute ones, you know. You can definitely see that there's some really nice colored ones that chase the little ones that occasionally pop out of nowhere. I have my one plant there that's still growing a bit, which is my nice wisteria plant. That's water wisteria. And you can see there in that little spot right there, there's like a little kind of offshoot, a runner that's going. Because these plants have a little line that attaches to each plant, and when they get to an adult, you just snip their runner line and they just start growing a new one, and it keeps doing that on, and you see like tons. But yeah, that's this tank. This is my big one. This is the 50-gallon, which is like my mother tank kind of thing, like the biggest one. And I'll show you my little one. Just give me a second. Okay, everybody, excuse the mess. This is a little surprise for y'all. This is my other tank. I have 2 of them in this room. And this is my little fry tank, you know. And this is really kind of the secondary tank, the place where I pretty much grow a lot of my little babies, you know. And this one's been doing good too. Like a lot of the plants in here are just like thriving. I've been dosing both with leaf zone like crazy, you know. And this is my little tank. And you can see at the very top, that's Riccia. That's why they usually tell you, if you have a tank, to tie it down. You usually get this. I'll show you an upper view, some of my little fellas. You know, this is a little bit about Riccia. You get a bunch like this. You know, this is a little bit of my Riccia. You know, I'll show you under the light a little. This is Riccia. It's like a little mat that grows like this. It grows like really insane. I'll show you in my aquarium light a little bit how it grows. This is a Riccia. This is how it grows. It literally grows like a mat. It's like a complete mat. This was like a little piece. And this is after a little over a month of growing. That's how fast it grows. You give it a month and you let it float, or it comes off of a carpet, it will grow like this. This is the most insane thing you'll ever see. This is my fish room, and that's my Riccia. That's like a huge amount. There's like 2 of them, and they're just like monsters. My babies love this stuff. They'll hide in it, and it'll just keep growing. There's like 2 of those, and this is the other one that's even bigger. This one I have like other plants that are clinging to it, but yeah, you know, there's this big baby. That's another one of Riccia, you know. This sucker is just giant, you know. It clings to stuff. The stuff sometimes grows together, you know. That's why I like it occasionally for my fry tanks. But you'll find a lot of it will cling to like other plants like crazy. Like this is just one of my plants, and it's still got Riccia hanging from it. And this is just a Java fern plant that I got that's like completely hung with this Riccia. It's just like attached itself to it, and that's just hanging on to a little bit of Riccia, and that's like some of their roots that are just hanging out, you know. That's just how insane it is. Then I have other plants that are growing in here like right off of them. Like I have a little plant here, and this little plant that's got some attached to it is actually one of the little plants that I had that was growing of my red Ludwigia. I have like a few of those little ones in here, like this one that's like taken off, you know. And then I have like other plants that are growing in here a little bit, like this one, which is like a huge stock that I've been keeping in here because the fish love this stuff. And this is a huge stock. It's like giant. I'll give you an idea of how big it is. Okay, this is how big it is, basically. That's like a 24-inch top, and this is like a little plant that was attached to it. This is like my Java fern, but this is actually Kabamba green. That's one stalk. One stalk of Kabamba. That's almost the length of my canopy of my glass top. It's like huge. I mean, these fish love this stuff. And that's just from letting it be, you know. You give it a lot of fertilizer, it'll grow like this, you know. It'll be like a giant. And that's how big it is. I got it in a 10-gallon, and it's just like shooting off like crazy. You know, my fish love it. And I like to give them what they need, you know. A nice little plant that grows like crazy. They just love all these plants, you know. You give them a lot of plants in a small tank like this, and it's just amazing. I try my best not to put my hands in too much, unless it's like feeding time or something, you know. But I've been feeding them different things. But the main thing I like to actually feed my fish, and I'll stand by this product very much, is anything from Omega-1. You can use these flakes, or if you really want to go all out and be a little more expensive, you can use the super color. I love the super color. That stuff is good. But you tend to go through it fast because it drives the fish completely nuts. For my cories, I am using this stuff, which I like, is Omega-1 shrimp pellets. They love them. It feeds them very well. So yeah, you know. And I tend to use for plants, I use this stuff. It's a bigger bottle because PetSmart doesn't sell this stuff in this size. They sell like little puny 8-ounce. This is about an 18-ounce. 16 floor ounces, about 18 ounces, 511 grams, and it's API leaf zone. I could be using, you know, some Seachem Flourish, but I've never actually tried it, and it's usually very complicated because it usually only goes in 60-gallon, and that's only a 50-gallon tank. You know, I haven't decided yet to upgrade my tank and go for the bigger boat, which is the 75-gallon, which is a lot bigger and a lot more. But if I ever do decide to save up over time and get a 75-gallon and actually add to it and make it bigger, I probably will have Eco Complete if I decide to go that route, which is about approximately maybe 4 bags, 3 to 4 anyways for that. But right now I'm enjoying using this tank, which is my 50-gallon, and on this tank I actually have about 2 types of lights right now, but I'm using one of the lights for my 10 gallon because I haven't actually purchased the 10 gallons light yet. So I'm using light that's like a full spectrum in the 10 gallon. And in the 50 gallon right now, I have 2 types of lights. I have the full spectrum by Aquarium, and I got another light which is by Hagen, and it's actually a very good one, and it's called the Aqua Glow, and it's about 18,000 K, which is pretty good, you know. But this is my aquarium room, and I thought I'd do an update and show you some of the cool stuff. So I hope you enjoyed.